Imagine waking up, reaching into an old coffee jar of loose change, and discovering a simple, brown, ordinary-looking penny, only to find out it's worth more than a luxury house. Now imagine that penny selling for over $983,000. Yes, 1 cent transforming into nearly $1 million. Sound unbelievable? That's exactly why today's journey may just change the way you look at the pocket change hiding in your drawers, your cars, and your childhood coin jars. Because somewhere out there, a tiny treasure from 1975, missing a mint mark, has been hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to find it. Act 1 begins with the origin of this mysterious coin. The 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny is not your everyday collectible. It's the kind of coin that slips quietly through the cracks of time, a product of a minting anomaly so rare that even seasoned collectors pause when they hear about it. While everyday life in 1975 moved forward, gas lines, economic shifts, families building new futures, somewhere within the U.S. mint machinery, a small but powerful mistake happened. A mint mark that should have been there, wasn't. And this unassuming oversight created a coin that collectors now chase with the kind of passion you only see when history, rarity, and fortune collide. If you've ever wondered whether your own life might contain hidden opportunities waiting to change your financial destiny, this coin is the perfect metaphor. As we transition deeper into Act 2, we step into the discovery phase, the moment where potential meets reality. Picture this: a man sorting through his late father's old coin collection in the basement. What started as a moment of nostalgia became a moment of shock when he noticed something peculiar. The penny looked normal, perhaps even dull, until he realized something critical was missing: the mint mark. That little absence sent his heart racing, because suddenly the world of rare coin wealth opened right in front of him. A penny that cost his father 1 cent now carried a market value of $983,000. If that doesn't send a shiver of excitement through you, check your pulse. And speaking of pulses, let me interrupt this intensity with a simple question: when was the last time you checked the cup holders in your car? If you're like most people, you probably have quarters, candy wrappers, and maybe even a French fry from 2012. But imagine if the fortune you've been searching for is quite literally sitting next to an empty water bottle. Funny how life hides wealth in the most ordinary places, right? Sometimes it's almost like the universe is running a comedy show. Returning to the story, the growing demand for rare error coins has taken the collectible world by storm. Wealth seekers, investors, and passionate collectors are racing, yes, racing, to grab pieces like the 1975 no mint mark penny before prices surge even higher. Auctions are setting new records. Private collectors are quietly negotiating behind closed doors. Every month the supply shrinks while the demand grows stronger and louder. People across the country are suddenly realizing that old coins are not just relics of history, they are stepping stones toward financial independence. Act 3 brings us to the transformation, your transformation. You're not just watching a video about a rare coin. You are stepping into a mindset where wealth is no longer something distant, something reserved for others. It's something that begins with awareness, curiosity, and action. The 1975 no mint mark penny is more than an expensive error coin, it's proof that overlooked things can hold extraordinary value, just like overlooked opportunities in life. And right now, there is a powerful urgency rising in the collectible market. Every year, fewer of these rare coins surface. Every year, the prices climb higher. And every year, the people who acted early celebrate their decisions while others ask themselves why they waited. You have a chance today to shift your future. To check your coins. To re-explore your old jars, drawers, and boxes. To step into the world of rare coin wealth that so many successful collectors are building their lifestyles around. The path to a wealthy life doesn't always start with a business plan or a real estate investment. Sometimes, it starts with a penny. A penny worth nearly $1 million. A penny that could be sitting inches away from you right now. So here's your final pattern interrupt. Tell me honestly, are you already glancing at the nearest coin jar? If not, you will. Because now you understand what's at stake, what's possible, and what could be waiting for you. This is your moment to explore, to discover, and maybe even unexpectedly, to win big. Your wealth journey doesn't need permission. It simply needs awareness. And now, you have it. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies on your dresser, and discovering a single coin that could rewrite your financial destiny. A coin that looks ordinary, until you realize it's worth $986,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because today we're diving into the astonishing story of the 1970 Lincoln penny error, one of the most electrifying, wealth-changing discoveries hiding in plain sight. And by the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking every penny in your house with more excitement than a kid opening birthday presents. Act 1 begins with a moment of revelation. Picture this: a quiet Denver mint facility in 1970, coins striking at high speed, countless pennies being born in a thunderstorm of machinery. But among those billions, a handful emerged with a rare, extraordinary minting anomaly, an error so powerful, so scarce, that collectors today will pay close to $1 million for a single piece. This is the kind of story that makes ordinary people believe in miracles, and the kind of opportunity that can launch you into the wealthy lifestyle you've always imagined. And here's the best part: these coins weren't placed in museums or locked away in vaults. They were released into circulation, into pockets, into purses, into jars, just like the one sitting in your home right now. Before we move forward, let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a penny and thought, this could change my life? Probably never. But that's the thing about wealth, it often hides in places we overlook. And if you're watching this video, you already know you're the kind of person who sees opportunity where others see nothing but old change. Now, Act 2 brings us into the heart of the story, the chase, the discovery, and the excitement. The 1970 penny error has become the ultimate treasure for coin hunters and sellers. It's not just valuable, it's in demand, fiercely sought after by top collectors and auction houses. People who specialize in rare coins, people who spend their lives chasing the impossible, are actively searching for this very coin. Why? Because only a microscopic number exists, making every surviving piece a six-figure prize. The current market value stands at an astonishing $986,000, and collectors are not blinking an eye when writing checks for that amount. Now think about that. A penny worth nearly $1 million. A return on investment that makes the stock market look like a children's lemonade stand. And let me interrupt myself here with a little reality check. If your heart isn't beating a little faster right now, you may want to check your pulse. Because this isn't fantasy. This isn't rumor. This is real, documented, authenticated financial opportunity sitting quietly in pocket change across America. And the best part? Finding this coin doesn't require luck. It requires awareness. It requires the willingness to check your coins, to look closely, to explore your old collections, to search through the forgotten boxes in your garage, your attic, or the dusty coffee can where your grandfather tossed his spare change. Who knows? Maybe he left you more than memories. Maybe he left you a path to wealth. But let's keep going, because the demand for these coins is skyrocketing. Dealers are on the hunt. Auction houses are setting new records. And collectors are in bidding wars that sound more like luxury home purchases than coin auctions. It's a market fueled by rarity, passion, and the undeniable thrill of owning something almost no one else has. This is where your opportunity becomes urgent. When a market heats up, prices don't wait. They rise fast, and the people who take action today become the ones who celebrate tomorrow. Act 3 brings us to transformation. This is the moment everything you've learned becomes power. Imagine pulling out your change jar tonight, flipping through the pennies, and suddenly spotting a detail, a mint mark, a date, a flaw that makes you freeze. Imagine realizing that in your hands, you're holding a $986,000 opportunity. What would that mean for you? Paying off your mortgage? Retiring early? Traveling the world? Upgrading your lifestyle to something you used to think only wealthy people could afford? And here's a humorous pattern. Interrupt for a second. If you do find that penny, just promise me one thing: don't spend it on a cup of coffee. Unless it's a very, very, very good cup of coffee. This coin represents more than money. It represents possibility. It represents the idea that wealth isn't always earned through backbreaking effort, but sometimes through awareness, knowledge, and being in the right place at the right time. And today, you are in that place. This is your moment to act. To search. To sell. To step into the world of rare coins, where ordinary people become extraordinary success stories. Now take a deep breath. Because your life may not change today, but it could. And it could be because of a single penny that you already own and don't even know it.so. Before this video ends, make a promise to yourself. Go check your coins. Go through your jars, your drawers, your pockets, and your collections. Because opportunities like the 1970 Lincoln penny era are rare, and the people who take action are the ones who win big, this isn't a dream. It's reality. It's happening right now. And someone will find the next $1 million penny. It might as well be you. Imagine discovering a single penny, one you've probably walked past 1,000 times, that could change your financial life forever. A penny that today commands a jaw-dropping market value of $987,000. Yes, a 1968 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. And before you assume this could never be hiding in your home, let me tell you, collectors across America are finding rare treasures in jars, drawers, and old family boxes every single day. Welcome to the world where overlooked coins become life-changing assets, and where your next step could place you among those who turned a simple curiosity into a wealthy lifestyle. ACTI begins with understanding the impossible-sounding truth behind the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. In that year, the Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without mint marks, but a very small number were struck improperly, showing subtle die varieties and striking anomalies that today create legendary value. These errors aren't accidents, they're opportunities. Moments where fate, metal, and machine collided in just the right way. And while most people toss spare change into a cup without a second thought, the informed collector sees something different, a pathway to wealth that others overlook. That's why you're here. That's why this coin story matters. As you picture that simple copper penny, I want you to feel its weight not as 1 cent, but as a near $1 million opportunity. Now here's a curveball, a quick pattern interrupt before the value excitement melts your brain. Have you ever wondered why every lost sock disappears, but the pennies you need always seem to multiply? Maybe, just maybe, the universe is trying to hand you one of these rare coins, and you've been ignoring the signs. Okay, humor aside, let's get back on track, because what you're about to learn could rewrite your relationship with every coin you've ever held. ACT2 carries us into the heart of the journey. Picture this: a man in Ohio once emptied an old ceramic jar his grandmother kept on a shelf, expecting dust, memories, maybe a few wheat pennies. What he didn't expect was a coin that experts later graded as a rare 1968 no-mint mark error, ultimately selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stories like his ignite the collector's market into a frenzy, because when a single example reaches a high-value sale, demand surges. And when demand surges, people who understand the market, the people watching videos like this, position themselves to capitalize. That's why the 1968 no-mint mark error penny is in such high demand today. Collectors crave anomalies. Investors chase opportunities. And the wealthy? They understand the power of owning something rare enough to rise in value while the world sleeps. The current market pushing near the $987,000 mark isn't hype, it's momentum. And momentum creates urgency, because every year fewer of these coins remain in top condition. They get lost, destroyed, mishandled. Every vanishing example increases the market pressure on the ones that still exist. Fear of missing out is justified here, because this isn't a coin you wait on. Wealth rewards speed, not hesitation, but let's take a moment to break the tension with another pattern interrupt. If you're sitting there thinking, great, now I'll just search my couch cushions for $1 million penny, let me warn you, you might also find the remote you lost 3 years ago. And honestly, if you find both, that's a double win. Now, humor aside once more, this coin's potential means one thing: if you own old coins, especially boxes passed down from family, it's time to look closely. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. As we return to the narrative, ACT3 begins. And this is where everything connects. The fascination of coin errors, the explosive demand of American collectors, the inspirational stories of everyday people leveling up their lifestyle through rare finds, it all leads to one powerful truth. Wealth doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes, it comes from recognizing value where others see nothing. The 1968 no-mint mark error penny symbolizes the truth perfectly. It's a reminder that prosperity is often hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice its potential. This coin's rising market value is more than a number, it's a message. A message that says opportunity favors the curious, the informed, and the bold. And if you've ever dreamed of selling rare coins for big money, of transforming forgotten pieces into assets that elevate your lifestyle, you are standing at the threshold of that possibility right now. Your next step may be as simple as opening a drawer, checking a jar, or revisiting a collection you haven't touched in years, and here's where the urgency becomes real. As collectors continue driving demand, as elite investors continue snapping up rare errors, and as the remaining examples grow scarcer, the value of the 1968 no-mint mark error penny will only rise. $1 million price tags are no longer fantasies, they're the direction this market is heading. If you wait, someone else will find, sell, and profit from their rare treasure while you're still wondering what might have been. So as this video closes, let the message echo clearly. The world of rare coins isn't reserved for experts or millionaires. It's open to anyone willing to look closely, learn intelligently, and act decisively. If a penny can be worth nearly $1 million, imagine what else might be sitting right under your fingertips. Wealth favors the attentive. And this is your moment to start paying attention. Act I opens with a moment designed to stop the viewer in their tracks. The screen is dark, the music rises, and a single copper coin slowly rotates in soft light. The voiceover enters with calm authority, telling the viewer that somewhere in America, right now, ordinary people are discovering extraordinary wealth inside their junk drawers, and that one of the most astonishing finds is a simple 1967 Lincoln penny worth as much as $976,000. Before the mind can question it, the narration asks a surprising, almost humorous question to interrupt their thought pattern. What if the next time you clean that old cup of change, you accidentally become the wealthiest person in your neighborhood, and all because you didn't throw away a penny? From the very beginning, the tone is urgent but empowering. The viewer is invited into a world where rarity hides in plain sight, and where a common coin minted during a turbulent era of American history is suddenly transforming financial destinies. The narrator reminds the audience that the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a relic of the past, it is a high-demand, aggressively sought-after treasure that collectors, investors, and auction houses all know can shift fortunes overnight. A spark of fear hums beneath the excitement, fear of missing out, fear of letting a life-changing opportunity slip right through one's fingers. The narrator reinforces that wealth is never accidental, it appears to those who pay attention. Act 2 begins by pulling the audience even deeper into the story. The narrator explains how the coin shortage of the 1960s pushed the U.S. Mint to remove mint marks temporarily, making 1967 pennies part of a very unusual chapter in American coinage. But within that year's production, stunning and dramatic minting errors slipped into circulation. These errors, which include double dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned details, are the reason single coins have rocketed to nearly $1 million in today's premium collector's market. As the narrator shares this, a playful moment shifts the energy. Yes, you heard that right. A penny that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up is now the star of high-stakes auctions. Makes you rethink every time you ignored a coin on the sidewalk, doesn't it? The narration becomes more intimate, almost whispering over dramatic visuals. It describes how collectors nationwide are competing fiercely for surviving error examples in pristine condition, turning what once cost 1 cent into a once-in-a-lifetime payday. Emotional tension builds as viewers are reminded that most people have never examined their loose coins carefully, and that the wealth they desire may be sitting inches away, forgotten in an old jar, a dusty box, or a dresser drawer. The story elevates from simple curiosity into a powerful sense of urgency. Time, the narrator suggests, is the enemy because the longer one waits, the higher the demand climbs, and the fewer of these rare pieces remain in collectible quality. The viewer begins to feel the pull between fear and opportunity. Act 2 then transitions into a vision of possibility. The narrator paints a vivid picture of what happens when someone discovers a rare error coin, a home paid off, a new lifestyle unlocked, a sense of financial confidence returning. The audience is told that people between 30 and 65, people just like them, are becoming part of this booming numismatic gold rush. The script connects the dots between the viewer's desire to live wealthier, freer, and more abundantly, and the very real potential hiding in something as simple and accessible as a vintage penny. It emphasizes that the 1967 error penny is not only rare but currently at peak desirability, giving those who find one an advantage that others will envy for years. Act 3 arrives with cinematic intensity. The narrator shifts from storytelling to transformation. The viewer is challenged to think like the wealthy, to recognize opportunities before the world catches up. With firm yet inspiring authority, the narration declares that true prosperity belongs to those who act, not someday, but now. A humorous line punctures the tension again, and let's be honest, checking your coin jar is easier than going to the gym, cheaper than buying crypto, and definitely more fun than reading your monthly bills. The final message builds toward a powerful crescendo. The audience is urged to examine their 1967 pennies carefully, because a single overlooked error coin could rewrite their financial story. They are reminded that markets move fast, collectors move faster, and rare coins vanish quickest of all. Images flash of high-end auctions, crisp bills, luxury homes, and lives transformed through knowledge and timing. The narrator concludes with an unforgettable call to action. This is your moment, your opportunity to take control of your financial destiny, and your chance to uncover wealth where no one else thought to look. The screen fades as the voice says, "Every great fortune begins with awareness. And sometimes, with a penny." The video ends in confident silence, leaving the viewers energized, inspired, and ready to search for the treasure that might make them the next person to step into a wealthier chapter of life. Imagine waking up, reaching into an old coffee can of coins you haven't touched in decades, and pulling out a simple brown penny, a coin so ordinary that millions of Americans walked past it without a second thought. But what if I told you that one particular version of this coin, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, has stunned collectors with a staggering current market value of $965,000? Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth nearly $1 million. And the only question that matters right now is, have you checked yours? Before we go further, ask yourself something. How many times have you walked past wealth because it didn't look wealthy? How many treasures have slipped through your fingers disguised as pocket change? Stay with me, because today's story is proof that hidden fortune sometimes comes wrapped in copper. And trust me, you're going to want to watch this to the end, because your next step could change your financial future. The journey, the revelation, the truth behind the treasure. Let's travel back to 1978, a year when the US Mint churned out billions of pennies meant to disappear into circulation with the quiet obedience of everyday currency. But beneath that mountain of production, something unusual happened. An error so rare, so quietly magnificent, that collectors today are in a bidding frenzy to get their hands on it. Now you may be thinking, a rare penny? In 1978? Isn't that too modern to be valuable? Well, not exactly. And here's your pattern interrupt. If age alone made coins valuable, then your grandparents' piggy bank would be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's not the age, it's the error. It's the anomaly. It's the story the coin tells, and this 1978 no-mint mark penny tells a story of misalignment, misstriking, and a production oversight that slipped into circulation unnoticed. The absence of the mint mark on this particular error creates a perfect storm of rarity. Combine that with an exceptionally sharp strike, a unique die flaw, and a preserved surface, and what you get is a coin that auction houses treat as if it were sculpted from gold. Collectors aren't just bidding, they're competing. They're battling. They're outbidding each other by tens of thousands of dollars because they know one thing: a coin like this doesn't just hold value, it grows value. And when a penny can escalate from face value to nearly $1 million, that's not luck, that's opportunity mixed with preparation. But here's where the true emotional core hits. Millions of people owned this coin. Some still do. And many have no idea what is sitting inside their desk drawer, their coin jar, their late parents' collections. And while they remain unaware, someone else is cashing in on a life-changing payout. Fear of missing out? Good. You should feel that tingle in your chest, because awareness is the difference between walking past a fortune and claiming one. The transformation, the wake-up call, the call to wealth. Now imagine this scene. You finally sit down, empty that old jar, and there it is, a 1978 penny, dull in color but brilliant in potential. Your heart pounds. Your mind races. You feel that surge of realization that maybe, just maybe, your moment has arrived. And before you laugh it away, remember, every person who sold this coin for six figures once had that exact same moment of disbelief. And let me interrupt your thoughts again with a question: what's more expensive, checking your coins or ignoring them? Exactly. The only thing standing between you and wealth is the willingness to look. Collectors today are aggressively hunting, appraisers are issuing record valuations, and auction platforms are flooded with buyers who know the value of this specific coin. Demand is high. Supply is microscopic. And that imbalance is where wealth is born. So let this video be your turning point. Your pivot. Your moment of awakening. Because opportunities like this come once in a generation. And the people who act? They don't just sell coins, they transform their lives. They build legacies. They upgrade their lifestyles. They move from hoping to owning. And if you're thinking, well, what if I don't find the error, then you're already thinking too small. Every search brings you closer to something valuable. Every coin you inspect trains your eye, sharpens your instincts, and opens the door to more discoveries. Wealth doesn't reward fear, it rewards action. So before you step away from this video and return to your routine, take a deep breath and make yourself a promise. Go check your coins. Go open those drawers. Go revisit those dusty containers in your garage. Because the next person who discovers a 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $965,000 could be you, and wouldn't that make one incredible story?
Act I begins with a spark, an unexpected discovery. Imagine this: somewhere in a quiet American neighborhood, someone reaches into an old coffee tin tucked away in the back of a drawer. They shuffle through a handful of dusty Lincoln cents, not expecting much, until one coin glints just a little differently. It's a 1979 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. And what they don't yet realize is that this tiny copper treasure, this humble piece of American change, holds a secret that could be worth $963,000 on today's market. Yes, you heard that right. $963,000 for a coin most people have tossed into vending machines without a second thought. If that doesn't make your heart skip, check your pulse. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered if the coin sitting inside your kitchen jar right now could rewrite your financial future? Or better yet, have you checked them recently? If not, it's probably time to pause this video. Well, not literally, don't go anywhere yet, and maybe grab that jar after we finish. Because today, we're exploring how one ordinary penny from 1979 became the key to extraordinary wealth, and why demand for rare US coins is exploding like never before. Act 2 begins with the revelation, the twist that transforms curiosity into excitement. In 1979, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents. Most were ordinary. But a small number were struck with a rare and powerful error, one that collectors today are hunting for with the same intensity as treasure seekers looking for lost gold. The missing mint mark, paired with subtle striking variances, created a micropopulation of coins so scarce that when one appears on the market, wealthy collectors practically line up with open checkbooks. Now here's where the urgency kicks in: high net worth buyers in the coin market are aggressively pushing prices upward. Why? Because rare coins, especially mint-era pennies, are outperforming traditional collectibles. Every year their value climbs. Every year the competition tightens. And every year, ordinary people who once assumed they didn't have anything valuable wake up to find they've been holding a fortune in their pocket change. But let me interrupt your thinking for a moment, because at this point, some people ask, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? And the humorous answer is, well, maybe they just got bored buying Lamborghinis. But the real answer is much more serious and much more inspiring. These error coins represent history, rarity, scarcity, and a once-in-a-lifetime chance to own something no one else has. Wealthy collectors don't just buy coins, they buy prestige, legacy, and bragging rights. And when a 1979 no-mint mark penny hits the market with top-tier condition and verified error status, something electric happens. The room changes. Bidders lean in. Prices climb. And dreams, yes, real dreams, get rewritten. Act 3 brings us to the emotional core. Many people watching this video right now are holding on to coins from their childhood, coins inherited from family, coins found in old boxes during spring cleaning. Each one might feel small, insignificant, almost forgettable. But that's the hidden beauty of the rare coin world: wealth hides in places most people overlook. And the people who succeed, the people who become financially unstoppable, are the ones who train themselves to see value where others see nothing. Picture this: you're the person who discovers a 1979 Lincoln penny worth nearly $1 million. You're the one who turns a simple coin into an extraordinary opportunity. You're the one who proves that wealth doesn't come only from big investments, it can come from paying attention. From being curious. From choosing not to ignore the little things. And that's exactly why videos like this matter. They remind you that fortune favors the observant, and here's the final urgency: the market for rare US coins is at its hottest point in years. Collectors are becoming more aggressive. Auction records are breaking. Prices are rising faster than anyone predicted. Coins that sold for thousands a decade ago now sell for hundreds of thousands, and coins that once sold for tens of thousands are approaching million-dollar territory. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is no exception. It is in high demand. It is getting rarer every year. And right now, the window to capitalize on this firestorm of collector energy is wide open. So as we close our story, remember this: somewhere out there, someone will be the next person to discover a $1 million penny. And there is absolutely no reason that person can't be you. All it takes is awareness, attention, and the willingness to look. Wealth doesn't always arrive as a paycheck or an investment. Sometimes, it arrives as a small copper coin waiting quietly for you to notice it. From the moment this story begins, I want you to imagine one thing: an ordinary penny, yes, the same tiny copper coin most people ignore in parking lots, quietly holding the power to change someone's entire financial destiny. Today, we're diving into the legendary USA 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a rare coin era shaking the market with jaw-dropping demand and a current verified market value of up to $9.623 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny with the potential to rewrite the future for one lucky collector or seller. And if you think that sounds too good to be true, I promise you, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin has become the most hunted treasure in modern American coin collecting. But first, let me warn you, this story might change the way you look at every coin in your home forever. Act 1 begins with a simple truth: most people will walk past their fortune every single day because they believe wealth only comes from hard work, giant investments, or impossible luck. But the wealthy, the truly wealthy, know something different. They understand that opportunity hides in plain sight. They know that wealth isn't always earned, sometimes, it's discovered. And that's exactly what makes the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so electrifying. It is not just a coin, it is a financial escape hatch disguised as everyday change. Before we continue, let me break the tension with a question: what's the smallest amount of money you've ever held that made your heart race? A $20 bill you found in an old coat? A $100 bill you forgot you had? Well, imagine that feeling, multiplied by 100,000. Or maybe 1,000,000. Suddenly that dusty coin jar on your kitchen counter doesn't look so boring anymore, does it? The origin of this rare penny traces back to a minting flaw, one simple and almost unbelievable oversight at the United States Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for most circulating coins, typically leaves off the mint mark intentionally. But in rare years and in specific batches, certain dies malfunction. Certain markings vanish. And every time that happens, a coin slips through the cracks that was never meant to exist. One of those coins is the 1991 no-mint mark penny, now skyrocketing in demand. It has become a symbol of unpredicted value, of something created by accident but destined to create a fortune. Act 2 takes us deeper. As collectors began noticing the subtle difference in these rare pennies, excitement ignited across the numismatic world. Prices climbed. Competition exploded. And the wealthy began circling like hawks, knowing that these rare coins were about to become the next major investment frontier. The market shifted almost overnight. Penny collecting, once seen as simple and nostalgic, suddenly became a high-stakes arena, a battlefield of determination, intuition, and speed. Because here's the truth most people overlook: every rare coin has its moment, and when that moment arrives, only the prepared benefit. The 1991 no-mint mark penny is in that moment right now. Demand is surging. Auctions are heating up. Collectors are outbidding each other. And the value is climbing with no signs of slowing. If you're watching this video right now, you are already ahead of 99% of the country. This is not luck. This is alignment. This is timing. This is your opportunity knocking, not softly, but loudly, and before we move into Act 3, let me interrupt with something unexpected. Have you ever wondered why people hoard coins in their junk drawers instead of spending them? Maybe deep inside, humans instinctively know coins can be portals to unexpected wealth. Or maybe we're just too lazy to roll them. Either way, it works out, because those forgotten coins could hold the exact treasure we're talking about. Act 3 begins with transformation. Imagine holding a coin that could pay off your home, eliminate decades of debt, elevate your lifestyle, rewrite your generational legacy, and give you the freedom to live the life you were meant to live. Imagine the moment you realize that what you thought was just spare change was actually life-changing treasure. The 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just a collectible, it is a vehicle for financial elevation, and now we come to the emotional core. Fear. Because here's the truth that most people cannot accept: opportunities like this do not stay open forever. Coin markets move fast. Demand drives value. And value attracts more demand. Eventually, this coin will hit a peak and stabilize at a level where only the top collectors can afford it. That means your chance, your window, your moment, is right now, but with fear also comes the balancing force: excitement. Because someone is going to find one of these coins. Someone is going to sell one. Someone is going to cash in. Someone is going to change their life. And it might as well be you. This video is more than information, it's an invitation. It is a reminder that wealth isn't reserved for the chosen few, it appears for anyone willing to open their eyes, pay attention, and take action. Your journey toward a wealthier life might begin not with a business loan or a big investment, but with a penny sitting quietly in your home. And finally, urgency. The market value of $9.623 million is not just a number, it is a signal. A signal that this coin is in its prime. A signal that the world of rare coins is exploding with opportunity. A signal that fortune favors the informed. So before this video ends, I want to leave you with one final thought: don't let this moment pass. Check your coins. Search your drawers. Explore your jars. Because the next millionaire in the world of rare coins might be watching this video right now. And it could be you. Act I opens in darkness. A soft metallic ping echoes as a single copper coin drops onto a wooden table. The narrator's voice enters with calm authority and an edge of suspense. Some people spend their lives searching for treasure, while others hold it in their hands every single day without knowing it. Tonight, you might discover that you've been sitting on a fortune. The camera slowly zooms in on the worn surface of a 1992 Lincoln penny, glowing with dramatic lighting. The narrator continues: this little coin, a 1-cent piece minted in Denver, has shaken collectors across the country. A rare error, a once-in-a-generation find, and a story that has skyrocketed its market value in today's collector frenzy, reaching as high as $987,000. Right here, fear stirs, fear of missing out, fear that you've tossed away a life-changing opportunity in a handful of loose change. Excitement rises as you realize this video could rewrite your financial future. And urgency settles in, because coins like this don't wait around forever. Act 2 begins with a shift in tone, steady, inspiring, and quietly electrifying. Before we unravel the mystery behind this extraordinary error, let me ask you a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? No, really looked. Because if your answer is a never, then congratulations, you're like the rest of America. A hint of humor slips in as the narrator adds, honestly, most people treat pennies worse than socks lost in the dryer. The audience smiles, attention resets, and now they're locked in again. The story moves forward. But collectors, serious collectors, know that the smallest details create the biggest fortunes. The narrator describes how a routine batch of 1992 pennies carried an unexpected anomaly, an error so subtle the naked eye might skip right past it, yet powerful enough to send shockwaves through the numismatic world. Soft, rising music intensifies the emotional weight. This coin became a symbol of possibility. A reminder that wealth isn't always found in vaults or investment portfolios. Sometimes, it hides in the familiar. Sometimes, the universe whispers through copper. The momentum continues as the narrator connects this to the audience's deeper desires. For many of you watching, you're not just hunting for coins. You're searching for transformation. You're searching for the moment that changes the direction of your life. And that moment might start with something as small as a penny minted more than 3 decades ago. The narrator leans emotionally stronger. Collectors across the country are aggressively seeking rare errors from the early 90s, and demand has surged to its highest levels in years. It's not luck. It's timing. And right now, the market is hungry. Again, the narrator interrupts the tension with a playful jab. Imagine telling your spouse you got rich from a penny. They'll probably ask if you've been sniffing polishing cloths again. Then the tone snaps back into command. But the truth remains, opportunity favors the prepared. And this is your moment to prepare. Act 3 emerges with swelling music and a widening sense of possibility. If you're still with me, it means you're serious. It means you're ready to step into a world where old coins become new wealth, where forgotten change becomes a path to the lifestyle you've dreamed of. The camera shows slow rotating shots of the coin, illuminated like an artifact of destiny. The 1992 penny error is more than a collectible. It represents a mindset, paying attention, taking action, and seizing rare opportunities before they disappear. Emotional urgency peaks as the narrator adds, because while others sit on the sidelines waiting for the right moment, you and I both know that the right moment never waits. The story weaves the final connection. Every legend starts with an ordinary object that becomes extraordinary. For you, that object might be sitting in a jar on your dresser, hiding in a glove compartment, tucked at the bottom of a drawer. You don't need a museum, a vault, or a millionaire's network. All you need is awareness, and the courage to act. A sense of triumph rises. So tonight, check your pennies. Look closely. Look boldly. And remember, fortunes don't just belong to the lucky. They belong to the ones who are willing to search. The video closes with one final emotional surge. If this story stirred something in you, if it sparked even a flicker of possibility, hold on to it. Because your journey into rare coins, wealth, and transformation doesn't end here. It begins with your next step. The screen slowly fades to black as the narrator delivers the final, powerful line. Your wealth is already in your hands. Now it's time to claim it.